7:52 here, Big 550 KTRS. Larry Stenneback joins us from First Rule. He's our tech guru. Good morning, Larry.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Good. What do you got for us?
I got actually three really fun stories. They're all kind of futuristic, kind of out there. First is Ford has partnered with a California-based company called Exobionics to give all of their factory workers exoskeleton suits to help them work in the facilities. So basically, they looked at workers at a car line facility are having to reach over their head for basic tasks, things like bolting something in or lifting something light up to 1 million times a year,
right,
if you're a factory worker over a course of a whole year. Mm-hmm. And so again, these things don't weigh a lot. You might be lifting 1 or 2 pounds up in the air, 10 pounds up in the air, but over and over and over again. It causes lots of fatigue. Right. So they've got a non-powered exoskeleton suit that the workers in the factory line now are using, called the Exovest, really creative name, and it allows them to basically lift anything up to 15 pounds in the air as though they're lifting nothing. So as though basically it's just automatically, they don't feel the weight at all, which again, really neat little advancement. It's completely unpowered using hydraulics and everything else.
So it's kind of like knee pads for the person working on the car.
Exactly. They're not going to get worn out as quickly.
Right. Well, that's really cool.
And you can see the advantage for Ford. They got, workers that can do more in a shift, essentially. So really, really neat stuff. Kind of along the same lines, you guys might have heard of this story. Last week in Las Vegas, you guys might have covered it. The first driverless shuttle was involved in a crash on its first day.
Yes, first hour or something.
Exactly, one of the first trips it was making. Now, the interesting thing about it is it's just like when Google's been testing the driverless cars over the United States. They've driven over 1 million miles of driverless cars in testing over the last couple of years. All of the accidents have been the human being at fault that's crashed basically into the robot. This was the same case. The actual shuttle came to a complete stop, sensing the thing coming at it, and started trying to back up, and then the car just kind of tapped into it. So it wasn't a horrible accident, but another example of how...
See, I don't know how you're going to do driverless cars in New York, where people sort of have a face-off with the taxis as they cross the street.
You're just gonna have to make them smarter. I mean, the fact that the taxis the driverless cars can already sense so much faster than humans. You have to give them the ability to adjust in an area like New York, because you're right, it's a madhouse. I can't even imagine me driving in New York City and like Midtown. It's crazy stuff. But I think we're gonna see more and more of that.
Right.
Now, on the back of this, I'm not sure if you guys discussed this. Uber has announced very ambitious plans to have flying Uber service active in the United States by 2020.
I think we did talk about
We did mention
Very,
this.
very fast. I'm not sure how much you got in the weeds, but essentially they partnered with NASA, which gives them a whole bunch of credibility to create the flight control system for their low-flying vehicle fleet. Then they've developed multiple types of Uber planes that currently will have a pilot. Eventually, they want to go to it's completely pilotless.
Of course.
But it can hold 4 people. And what is it? They say they can go 150 to 200 miles an hour, 60-mile range on a battery. So it's completely emissionless as well. So a lot of drone technology that you're seeing basically pushed into Uber. And here's the crazy thing. I think it's very, very ambitious. They're saying that a little after launch, they'll have the cost to the exact same as an Uber XL Uber car ride.
No way.
That's what they're claiming. And then they're claiming that after that, once they get things settled, it will be less than that. It'll be less than you driving your actual car to work as far as the actual cost.
Well, you got to figure if it's battery powered and there's no one driving it, how much, you have the cost of the equipment that you can monetize over each.
And I think they're doing it as a carpool so that you pull up with 4 people or something to land.
I don't want to take a plane ride with strangers to the mall. That's
Here's the thing. There's one thing about driverless cars, which I'm still, I don't know. But a driverless plane?
That's why they're starting with pilots in these things.
You
but yes,
are in the air.
Well, wait a minute. You're taking a drive. You're getting into a stranger's car and driving in the middle of the night to some party.
But you're in the air.
You're safer with nobody than with some freak show who shows up with a car.
Well, the nice thing is that a lot of the consumer electronics in drones has helped with safety. They don't have a pilot in them necessarily.
Right.
They can go off past the radio control and then be able to fly themselves back and safely land. And you're seeing a lot of that in the design here, where if the propeller's messed up, you still have vertical takeoffs.
Larry Stenneback, always fun. Our tech segment of the week. Thank you, sir.